Yo, welcome back to the channel. So here we are back in the Truman Street in Liverpool. Come back to check my car park out, so we're gonna have a little look now. It's just on the left here. It's the main entrance to it. There you got university buildings on this side of the road here. It's all university, John Moores University. You've got the Holiday Inn at the end of the road there, just across the road. You've got office buildings right the way up that road there. Apartments over here. Office buildings over there. And a big hotel just there. So, this is my car park. I've done a couple of videos on this in the last couple of weeks, but I've just been here to give it a quick sweep today. Get it a bit cleaner, because it was a little bit of a mess, so I cleaned it up quite a bit. There's not so many leaves and stuff knocking around now. I've got a meeting in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I've got a meeting with a guy who's a tarmac company, groundwork company. I want him to take these bushes out here, this flower bed, take all that out. So instead of having just 2 parking spaces here, I should be able to fit in one there, one in the middle, and one at the end. Now, by doing that, it's going to increase the value of this land by at least 15 grand. And also it's going to produce about £1,100 a year income extra. So even if he says, yeah, I'll do it for you, I'll tarmac this, take all these flower bed out, and there's 3 tree stumps. There's one there, there's another tree stump just there, bit hard to tell, but it's there, like just there, and there's another small one just here. So I need those 3 tree stumps gone, this bit of curb edge gone, the soil, and then tarmacking. So even if he says, like, I'll do it for you, it's going to be £3 grand. So I get my money back in less than 3 years. It's a good return on investment, isn't it? That's the way I'm looking at it. But the interesting news is that this land here is just for a couple of trees. There was a 3rd tree, but I chopped it down. It was starting to lean into that courtyard over there. I chopped that one down. I should have chopped this one as well, really, at the same time, because this one's starting to rip up my car park. The roots are coming through here. But this guy who owns this building here, which is a building that my dad used to own, and he sold on to a developer who fixed it all up and then sold it to the guys that are in there now. He wants to put electric car charging machines on here, just along this little edge here, so he can charge all these cars, because he rents these spaces off me for all these cars here. So he'd like to put his electric chargers in. He'd also like to stop me from cutting these trees down or pruning them or doing anything to them. He'd also like to stop me from building a building. He'd like to stop me from building a building like here or something, you know. I can literally build a building here if I want, right up to his wall, and block all his windows right the way up, which isn't ideal for his building, obviously. So he'd like to stop me doing that, and he's suggested he'd like to put a covenant on the land, so nothing can be built on this bit of land here, and no buildings can be built apart from maybe from here or somewhere like here-ish or something. You could build a building and throw a big building up there if you wanted to, because he's got no right of light, because we sold that derelict building with no right of light, no right of air there. So I need to discuss with him what we're going to do about this land, but he wants to possibly buy it off me. So I need to work out a price. But how do you work out a price for a piece of land in Liverpool city centre, which is pretty much useless to anybody? I mean, what's that valued at? This here, I know this here, this piece of land here, which is big enough to fit 1 car in, or this piece of land that's big enough to fit 1 car in, is worth around about somewhere between 11 and 14,000 pounds for each one. Now this piece of land is a lot bigger, but I can't do anything with it. I need to give access to that staircase that's at the end there of the car park. There's trees in it. It's pretty much useless to me, but he's said to me he'd be interested in maybe buying it off me, so I might sell it to him, but at what price? I know if he offered me the sort of money he was talking about this morning, that we guessed maybe it's worth £50,000, I'd snap his hand off for £50,000 for that, because £50,000 I can do a lot with that. I can produce 10% passive income a year off that and get £5,000 a year for the rest of my life. I mean, obviously I'd have to share it with my brother-in-law and sister because they own half of this car park, but I'm interested in selling it rather than putting a covenant on it, because if I put a covenant on it, that basically says, oh, nothing can be built there for a certain amount of time or until I take the covenant off it. Realistically, you know, he could pay me for a covenant and I could just take the covenant off and then sell the land to somebody else and they could build directly up to his building. It's no good for him, it's no good for us. So it's in his interest to buy it. But will it cause us any problems if we sell it? I mean, if we sell this land, at the moment, if we wanted to, we could build where all these cars are here, build a big building there and build it out to here, past these trees, probably around here-ish, and leave like a 3 or 4 metre gap there, whatever the meterage, I don't know whether it's 3 or 5 metres, but say 5 metres would be about here, where we are now, because this is 7 metres wide across from the building to the curb edge. So we could do that, but we're not going to build anything on here. We're going to sell it to somebody who's going to build, maybe, or somebody who's going to want to keep it as a car park. So I really don't know. But what would you give us a comment? What would you value that piece of land out there, that gravel with the 2 trees in it? How much would you value that in the city centre of Liverpool? I mean, obviously it's worth a lot more to this guy here who owns this building than it's worth to anybody else, because it's going to block his right of light if I sell this land to somebody and they decide to say, screw you mate, I'm building right up there. Interesting, but there you go. Anyway, as you can see, I've cleaned the car park. It's looking cleaner. There's still a bit of moss which I could do with taking care of, really. I could do with getting some moss killer and killing all this moss. So if I get a chance in the next day or two, I'll grab some of that and then whack that moss off. The other problem is I'll keep clearing the crap out of the top of this wall here and it keeps growing back. I didn't do it, this one here, I did the rest of the wall. I got tired and this one's growing out, and as you can see, it started to lift the wall. So I need to sort these out. These need sorting out. I need to kill it all off so we've just got a nice wall with nothing growing out of it. I don't need that wall knackered. It'll cost thousands to resort that wall out. But there you go. The car park's actually full. There's no spaces to rent in this car park. I rent them out every month on a monthly contract, and I've literally got about 4 tenants who rent the whole lot between them. So it's a proper nice business, nice easy passive income. So there you go. Look at that, old school M3. Sweet. Needs a bit of work though, it's starting to fall apart, starting to rust. But nice car. Right, that's it. Give us a like, give us a sub. See you in the next video. Bye for now from Liverpool, UK.